I'm going through a whole reorg with one of my clients right now. I want to share with you some of the secret sauce I've found takes org charts from just being dust gathering, title fluff to impactful launch pads for team success and culture strength. Plus, stick around to the end when I share how I see AI agents fitting into your teams and what that means for you, including how to start building out your own AI org charts.
Welcome to the Biz Doctor Podcast, my love letter to business owners the world over. I'm your host, Lauren Goldstein, award-winning business consultant and advisor fondly nicknamed the Biz Doctor by my clients. I help business owners who are burning the candle at both ends diagnose what is actually keeping them buried in the day-to-day busy work, and then formulate a treatment plan to adjust their business and team to fit them, so they can take a breath and a vacation and have more fun making a bigger impact than ever. So grab your favorite beverage and your earbuds, and let's dive into our latest episode.
All right, back to the document filled with boxes, solid lines, dotted lines, and names in question. Does that sound familiar? It should. It's the way we were taught to represent the typical hierarchy of an organization. But here's an unpopular opinion coming in hot. I think it is outdated and ineffective. The main problem I see with typical org charts is rarely, if ever, are they setting the team up for true success or being followed. In fact, in this particular case with my client, we were seeing people with titles that not only didn't match their day-to-day, but were so wildly out of alignment that everyone was confused. And don't get me started on how a golden key scorecard could have nipped this in the bud, but I digress. When I was working with my client on their reorg, one of the very first questions I asked for every person we put below someone is this the best person to manage and coach them? The second question was, does this person want to be a manager and a leader? These two questions are vital because they make you stop and really get clear on where someone will be best set up for success. Who will be the best mentor and leader for them? Where can they learn, grow, and even more importantly, be coached and mentored with someone that complements them? You've heard me say it 100 times, but it bears repeating. Most A players, the superstars you want, they leave because of their managers, which is why this proactive question is critical. The other side of that coin is just as important, which I'm going to illustrate with a little story. My client that I'm doing the reorg with has this incredible team player. He's hardworking, loyal, so smart. He's been with the company for ages and really cares about the team and the business. All qualities you want in a team member. There's just one problem. He is a truly terrible manager, and I do not say that lightly. And it's not because he's doing anything malicious or isn't trying to be a good manager. No, it's simply not in his DNA. He doesn't love managing or leading people, and he got plopped into a role that has people reporting to him. Whoops. 80% of his role was the doing. That's what he excelled at. He loved the work. It lit him up. But the 20% that was managing or dealing with his direct reports, it was pretty terrible. And it almost cost us him and another top employee until we got to the root cause of what was going on and were able to nip it in the bud and make some swift changes that made everyone happier. And that right there is the hidden power of an org chart. It should empower you to see, at a glance, where you can place someone to truly unlock their next level, or in this case, where you need to shift someone to set them up for success. For this particular team member, it meant that he no longer had any direct reports, and we changed his title and accountability slightly as well. He was happy being an IC, and that's where he was going to stay. Now, a quick note before I continue. I will go to my grave standing on this soapbox. You must have 2 promotion paths, one for the ICs, your individual contributors, and one for your leaders. Too many great people who are kicking butt as ICs get lost in the shuffle by promoting them to management or leadership when that isn't what's best for them, or you, or your team for that matter. Make sure you have a way for your ICs to grow, improve, promote, earn more, and have more responsibility so they don't stagnate, which just sets them up for failure and subsequent departure. Okay, stepping off my soapbox and back to org charts and how to make them one of the most powerful springboards to propel your team and culture forward. I like to think of org charts more as a byproduct of where work flows, not necessarily where decisions are made. Here's an example to illustrate what I mean a bit better. I remember when I was working with a client who had a fairly large team of 170. At the end of the day, I was working for and with the CEO, but the CFO was a petty tyrant that was trying to power broker the rest of leadership in the team. He was trying to usurp the power from the CEO and was a tremendous roadblock to, well, everything. Not to mention, he was so difficult to work with. In this case, the org chart that they had was rendered basically useless because the decisions were flowing to someone who should not have had that power. And don't worry, we did a lot of reorging with this client too, and this CFO is not an issue anymore. But what would have been more useful in this case was a workflow org chart, which are the kinds I build with my clients. It would have immediately solved the CFO trying to put his fingers in every single department's pie. In all my work with clients, I want to optimize for speed and who has the most knowledge to get the work done than anything else, which means I don't want the team to have any roadblocks to making decisions that stop momentum or stall solving problems effectively at the level they're at. And highly structured org charts, that's what they do, right? They create friction, bureaucracy, silos, and delays. All things that are silent killers of business and things that cause great people to leave. So instead of looking at your org chart as who holds the power to make the decisions, look at them as what is the most ideal way to set your team up for workflow ease and speed. That is not to say that you shouldn't have clear hierarchy for major decisions so you don't have anarchy or a literal circus. But as I've shared in previous episodes, you need to have a team that can be autonomous, critical thinkers who can solve problems and make decisions at the level that the problems are at. Otherwise, you will waste a ton of time and resources running around trying to get the information you need that your team already has to solve the problem for them. Decide what type of decision requires someone upstream and then let go. I know that's easier said than done. But if you can let go and let your people stop coming to you to solve or answer their problems, magic happens. They learn, they grow, they get things done faster and oftentimes better. And you start to have more of the freedom that you started your business for. I call that a win-win-win. Now, the last part of the puzzle bears repeating. Set your org chart with people who complement one another, not just who's next in line. Find the people who can relate best. Find the managers who can best teach and support the person under them to get them where they want to go. And for heaven's sake, make sure you're putting people in leadership who really want to be there and who will excel at developing other leaders, which is really the number one job of any leader. Now on to AI agents and where I see the future of teams going. I think one of the most prolific jobs that we are going to see over the next few years is AI agent managers. People whose sole job is to monitor and build agents and make sure they're doing the work they were created to do. I hate to say this, but the new wave of technology in teams is here, and it's not going away. If anything, time is accelerating and more jobs are going to evaporate into AI agents. Just this week, I got an email from Lindy, my favorite AI agent builder, which I will drop a discount link in the show notes for you, that said they saved me 43 hours, or the equivalent of one full-time person. For context, we're still in the early stages of AI. Most business owners, most businesses still aren't using it. And so Lindy saved me 43 hours with only a handful of agents that I didn't even have a few months ago. Do you see how fast time is collapsing? With that in mind, I've been taking my clients through an exercise to build out their own AI agents and think about how to integrate them with their teams. My good friend Austin Netzley once told me many years ago that he has a VA for every department to do all the low-hanging admin that drains high achievers' time. I love this philosophy and have adopted it for several of my clients. But now instead of those VAs, we're locking in AI agents, but not just for every department, for every member of the team. So just imagine if the more monotonous, repeatable, predictable admin that was bogging your team down suddenly was poof, off their plate. How many hours would that free up for them to do the work that you really pay them for? The work that can't be outsourced to AI, that actually moves the needle. You can spend less than $1,000, actually it's probably closer to a couple hundred, on agents for every member of your team and see your profit margins steadily grow, your team's capacity skyrocket, and not to mention keep burnout at bay because they're doing the things that not only are they good at, but they enjoy. Heck, listen to this. My friend was at dinner the other day with a bunch of entrepreneurs. All of them at the table told him that they let go of their EAs and replaced them with AI agents. So you can see just how fast this wave is moving and what the potential is, not only from a productivity standpoint, but in profitability and bottom line numbers. From $100,000 for an EA to a couple thousand for an agent, those numbers are hard to ignore. As cold and unfeeling as this might sound, robots don't care. They don't need vacations, breaks, pats on the back. They just get shit done. So why not leverage the heck out of this new tech landscape to protect your most valuable asset, which is your people? Quick pause before we dive into this next bit. Because if you're ready for more freedom, autonomy, and let's be honest, fun in your business, then this is for you. Our Golden Key Scorecard is the best plug-and-play tool designed to help your team run with more clarity, autonomy, accountability, and capacity, so you can focus on driving growth instead of managing chaos. It's the same framework we use with our clients to create high-performing, self-sufficient teams that unlock their next level of scalability, ease, and profitability. If you're ready to step fully into the owner seat and have a business that runs with you, not because of you, then this scorecard is the roadmap you've been looking for. It's going to be the game changer to take your successful business from good to great, not to mention save you a lot of team headaches while we're at it. You can download it for free at goldenkeypartnership.com/go and unlock the next level of success for your team and your business. Now back to the episode. Here's the exercise I alluded to before that you and your team can go through to get yourself and them on the AI agent horse. If you think about your day-to-day and could have it all your way, that phrase is very important. If you could have it all your way, because it actually bypasses your logical frontal lobe that's going to say, but I don't know if this is possible, and put all the limits on it. You got to say, could have it all your way. What are the 3 to 5 things that you would love if you could offload by automating and delegating it to an AI agent? I'm going to say this again. If you think about your day-to-day and could have it all your way, what are 3 to 5 things that you would love if you could offload by automating and delegating it to an AI agent? Have every single member of your team start with this question. And then have them do what I call an agent wish list, where they jot down things they would love to get off their plate whenever it pops in their mind. And then as a team, as a company, set a goal to build an AI agent a week. Now, if that feels overwhelming, just start with 1 a month. Everything from inbox management to follow-ups to marketing, you name it. The world is literally your oyster. It might just take a little tweaking and testing, but trust me, they are easier to build than you think. So again, if you could have it all your way, what would your AI agent team look like? So for me, the first agent I built was around my podcast, taking my transcript and creating show notes, social posts, a blog post, even pull quotes. It did it all seamlessly, and it's getting better each time it runs. Then I created one that managed my inbox so I wasn't missing important emails between the sea of sales and marketing emails. It sends me a Slack message when one of my VIPs emails me so that I don't miss it, since I'm only in my inbox a few times a day. And then here's the kicker. It also makes sure that I'm responding to emails and not dropping the ball. So it reminds me if someone asks something important from me that I haven't responded to. It really is the best kind of accountability. Then I built one that really changed everything. I called it my LinkedIn triage assistant. Every few days, she goes in and reads my LinkedIn connection request emails. And then here's where the magic is. She goes and researches that person and gives me a recommendation on if that person is an ideal connection or not. She even flags the spammers and the bots. Now, as someone who's very busy and gets about 10 connection requests a day, this simple agent has saved me so much time. Now, it might sound cold to have her doing these things, but it's really about leverage. She's kickstarting tasks that I used to kick the can on, and she's a sassy shotgun rider. She's also holding me accountable in different ways, and one of my favorites being the task function in ChatGPT. It's a hidden gem that few people know about, but trust me, don't sleep on it. Holy smokes, is that a game changer. Which reminds me, I did a workshop for my clients on unlocking AI. So it isn't just a fancy form of Google, but a power partner, and showed them 5 things that will take ChatGPT to the next level, including the tasks I was just talking about, and how to build their first agents. I've now started doing the workshop for non-clients. So if you want to come along for the next one, just pop on over to goldenkeypartnership.com/AI and come copy my notes and collapse time by taking my months of work, research, trial and error, and hacks and tools so you can run with them and start ahead. Trust me, this is one wave you want to make sure you are on top of, because if you're not, you'll blink and be behind, drowning and trying to tread water catching up. Just think about Blockbuster. They turned down $50 million to buy Netflix. Netflix today, their market cap is $500 billion. Whoops. Needless to say, time is moving fast and AI is moving faster, so don't sleep on this. To wrap us up and recap, think of your org chart not as a hierarchy of decision makers, but a roadmap to set your team up for workflow efficiency and who can help support them best to hone and grow their skills. And when you're building your org chart, start asking what kind of AI agents you can start adding to increase leverage and capacity to free up your team to do more deep work that is in their superpowers. I'll leave you with this. Org charts are living, breathing things. Just because it worked last quarter doesn't mean it can't be improved or shifted this quarter. Don't be afraid of change. As long as you manage change well and make it a win-win, changing orders, titles, hierarchies can be one of the best things you can do for you and your team. Just like it was for one of my clients' ICs who was shifted to a role where he could do his work and not have to worry about the managing. If you aren't reviewing your org chart with every headcount planning meeting, sidebar, if you're not doing headcount planning meetings, this is your sign. When looking to hire someone new or when you're looking to promote, you are missing an opportunity to create a rising tide. Don't let it gather dust, wield it, tweak it, improve it, and let me know how this perspective shift on org charts lands and changes your team and your business. All right, that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening in. If you want more tactics like this to free you up from your business, be sure to follow this show to get notified when our next episode is live and ready for your ears. If anything I shared sparked something in you or resonated, I would love it if you shared this episode with someone else. Please take a moment and also rate and review our show so it shows up to more people who need to hear it. If you'd like to connect, tag or DM me on Instagram at It's Lauren Goldstein or LinkedIn or wherever you hang out online. Thanks so much for listening. That's it for this week's episode. Until next time.
Thank you for listening to the Biz Doctor podcast. Now, I like to say that friends don't let friends WebMD your business. So if you're wondering what your next steps could be, here are some options for you. No matter what, head to the show notes or to my website, goldenkeypartnership.com, for some impactful resources to support you getting out from under your business. That's also where you'll find the links to learn more about our services and how we support business owners, just like you, who are ready to make the successful jump from business operator in the trenches to visionary business owner with more freedom and flexibility. All of that info is on our website, so pop on over to learn more or get in touch. goldenkeypartnership.com. Finally, if you love the Biz Doctor podcast, I'd be so grateful if you would share it with your friends and network and give us a 5-star rating or review wherever you listen to your podcast.
An original from Story Studio Network.